Bizarre Brain Comics. Yeehaw, partner. I am the Trigger Kid, here for Bizarre Brain Comics. And I'm here to tell you tales of the Wild West that never was. Yeehaw. Oh. Last time I talked about some pulp magazines, Western pulp magazines. And so I thought I would step over to the comic side and talk a little bit about some Western comics from about the same time or a little later. Well, the material was. The books themselves aren't. Okay, these are, about 20 some odd years ago. AC Comics. They were working primarily as doing reprint material of public domain characters and stories. Did a lot of the reissuing a lot of the Golden Age superheroes and lesser known superheroes. They're all in public domain, and then also some of the Western stuff. And this is some of the Western stuff. Now, I got all these books at a comic shop about 18, 19 years ago from the back issue bins, and for considerably less than the cover price, because the shop owner was glad for me to take them, and he had more, and I wish I could have afforded at the time to have gotten more, because I was getting other stuff too. Because I love Westerns, and Westerns are really hard to come by. And the shop owner there, like I said, they had these in the back issue bin, and he couldn't sell them. And I don't know if he ever had them on the stands or if he got them in trade or what. I don't know, because I had never seen these on the stands that I recall. And even then, I might not have bought too many of them, because they were at the for the time was pretty expensive. They are printed on heavier paper, but it's black and white to keep the cost down. But on heavier paper and heavy cardstock covers. But before I take a closer look at those, I want to have a brief word from our sponsor. That is me. My Bizarre Brain Comics anthology comic book, available on Amazon. Just type in Bizarre Brain Comics. Get your copy for $7.99 with gags, humor, and some adventure stuff. And I hope you enjoy it. And I know some people have informed me that they've already ordered theirs. Some have already gotten their copies. I'm still waiting for my copies to arrive. So I'm just using the proof version. Okay, back to the best of the West. And they reprinted some of these classic comics, Western lesser known stuff, from the late 40s and early 50s, and these were mostly based on some of a series of Western movies. They were more somewhat more juvenile, because they were the stuff that they were based on was mostly intended for a younger audience. Stuff that they have on in the Saturday mornings. Saturday afternoon at the theater. Westerns. And so these were based on Western movies, such as, like you see here, Durango Kid. This is Charles Starrett. That's the actor who played Durango Kid. Some were original. I don't think Black Diamond was ever in movies. Then the Haunted Horseman. You know the Haunted Horseman today as the Ghost Rider. They had to, for copyright reasons, they had to change the name to Haunted Horseman for the reprinting the old stuff, and because in the mid '60s, Marvel got the rights to the character, and then of course they went hog wild and stuff. And then of course Tim Holt as Red Mask. Now Tim Holt was a popular Western actor, but I think having him as Red Mask was original in the comics, but I am not positive. Now, these books would have some articles occasionally about the actors or the movies. They had ads for DVDs for their old movies and the like. So, but this bunch here, I have a few more somewhere else, but these are ones that I had handy all together. This is issue 20 from 2001. Best of the West, the 20th big issue. They were thicker, heavier, had more pages than a standard comic. But I wanted to show you also some of the artists here. Like this is Gil Kane here from this illustration of Black Diamond. What was his name? Frank Gardner, Durango Kid. Dick Ayers on the Haunted Horseman, Frank Bowl on Red Mask, and these were not the only characters in these books either. As you see here, issue 21 had introducing the Masked Marvel. This is kind of a cool one. This is getting into some of the weird stuff, but he was just a guy in a mask, and the villain, the devil here, was also just a guy in a mask. And again, highlighting Durango Kid, Red Mask, Haunted Horseman. And then you can see, there's the ad for an upcoming issue. Then we have here 22nd issue, and another one, story featuring Ken Maynard. Ken Maynard was another popular lower budget Western actor. And most of these were in series. They'd do maybe 2 or 3 or 4 of them a year. And some of these guys did these characters for many years. Like Durango Kid was Charles Sterrett. And I guess he did the Durango Kid for 17 years. And see what's on the back of this one. Another ad right there. Then we have skip a ways. Those were from 2001. This is like from 2003, I think. And this other one is as well. 35th big issue, The Haunted Horseman. Now, what is so outstanding in this particular issue is that this cover illustration was drawn by Frank Frazetta. And of course, and then it is a classic one that he did back in the 50s. But they really pushed that, and that's understandable. Two Gun Lil, Black Diamond, Red Mask, Durango Kid. And I may very well sometime in the future cover in more detail some of these characters and the stories. And then here we have Best of the West Roundup Volume 2. It's 160 pages. Now what they did with this is they basically took 2 or 3 issues of the other, probably 3 issues, and reprinted them again into one volume with a little bit extra stuff, and published them again. So this was the cover price of $25, $24.95. That would have been, especially 20 years ago, that would have been way overpriced or out of price. Of course, again, it was on the heavier stock paper and quality printing, but no color. But you can see, look here. But it led off with a Roy Rogers story, which is kind of surprising. Art. This is John Buscema. Oh, wow. So this is some early John Buscema work. Yeah. Roy Rogers, King of the Cowboys, which is surprising because that was Dell. That's surprising. It was Dell, and this is the only Roy Rogers of this that I have seen here. It's some nice work. Here we got Haunted Horseman, Dick Ayers, some very early Dick Ayers, and you can see his if you're familiar with him, his style is not as refined and kind of off here. Red Mask here, Frank Boll. If I can get to the pages I'm trying to get to. Oh, this is Tim Holt. Yeah, Tim Holt as Red Mask. Frank Boll. That's some nice stuff, and he was a bit of a good girl artist at the time. There were some others. It even has some. Oh, another Red Mask. Here's The Lone Rider. It's a little different. Ken Batfield or Batfield. I'm not too familiar with that one either. This is all good fun. There's some more Dick Ayers. Good fun reading. And then here we have Black Phantom. It's a female character spun off from Red Mask. This is the art by Dick Giordano. Oh, and then where's this other one? Oh, that's not the right one. Anyway, there's another one in here, a female character. I think it was Annie Oakley, drawn by Ross Andrew. And so that's what we've got this time, just to show you a few things. And these are some good fun, good spirit. I mean, almost nobody ever dies unless they happen to be a victim of murder in these books. Shooting guns out of the hands, and they're mostly basically Lone Ranger rip-off type characters. It's a lot of fun, not very deep stories, and the art is the best part of the deal. So that is what I've got to show you, partners, for the best of the West. So please like, share, subscribe, and do leave a comment. Have you seen or read any of these books, or have any of the original books that might have been reprinted here? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you for joining me. And remember, comics are art.